Ramakrishnaya Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. In today's class, we'll look at an aspect of meditation called flow. I used to wonder how all these yogis and monks could sit down for hours and hours, and I thought they're probably kind of, inflating the you can say the narrative, or when they tell us about they meditated the whole day or something like that. Swami Vivekananda used to meditate the whole day. I used to wonder, how is it possible? I was young, of course, and then I said, after a couple of minutes my back aches and my leg aches, and how is that? But then I understood later as I grew up that there is something called the flow. What is the flow? Flow is popularly called being in the zone. In it, the ideas of the self, of time and the world change. It is striving without striving. It is optimum absorption. It is action in action. Well, all these kind of definitions, but what really it is, you feel a kind of a lift. You feel buoyed up. And when you do things in that flow, they appear and they are effortless. This much, I think, is understood. And we would like you to go through certain other past sequences that we have done in the exercises to make you understand what exactly is meditation and how to get into the flow of meditation. Okay. And we will also use a sequence which we had previously taught to get you into that. There is now a chart. I want you to look at the screen, and it will tell us what exactly and where exactly is flow situated in the mind. Okay. Now, all of you now remember that when we are meditating, a part of our mind is, now if you look at the chart out there, you see there is first conditioned consciousness. There is a pre-conscious. There is this ordinary meditative awareness. There is meditation. There is semi-flow. There is a flow. And above the flow, there is a kind of a trance-like state of flow. So flow itself is divided into three parts: the semi-flow or semi-flow, flow, and the higher flow, or a kind of a trance-like state of flow. So this is it. We are now first concerned with the meditator. So you are sitting down there, you are meditating. And where exactly are you situated when you sit down to meditate in the ordinary meditative awareness. When you are sitting down for meditation, you are in that state. You are aware of your body, you are aware of the external world, of sounds, etc. This is ordinary meditation. This is ordinary awareness, sorry. Just beneath that is a pre-conscious. And below that is the conditioned conscious. Now, let me illustrate it with an example. Most of you have seen fish which are teeming in a lake or a pond. If you throw fish feed inside, what happens is all the fish around that place, they will come towards that fish feed, that food. Obviously. And the more you throw that food, the more the fish will come. And there's a kind of a uproar. The impressions in the mind, the subconsciousness, they gravitate towards one spot. Now, what is this conditioned consciousness? Conditioned consciousness are memories or impressions of things that you have done. Prayer, meditation, japa, and all these rituals. These are the impressions. Now, suppose you're going out to play football. Those different types of all those conditionings will come up there when you're playing football. Okay? Everything. You have played for years and years and years. And those impressions are there in the mind. But when you are going to do an act, those impressions, as it were, gravitate towards that action. Similarly, in meditation, those impressions and memories, as samskaras they are called, they all gravitate as you sit down to meditate. And then they emerge out from the conditioned consciousness to the pre-conscious. This is just a slightly layer beneath your awareness, meditative awareness. You are going to meditate, you have sat down with your eyes closed. So there's a pre-conscious and there's a conditioned conscious. And then you start meditation. And as you meditate, you become more and more focused. And as you become more and more focused, what happens is your body becomes still, your breath becomes fine, feeble as it were. You won't feel that breath. And there is a kind of a release. You feel light inside. This happens when you meditate properly. And as this awareness, meditative awareness, deepens, what happens is you get into a semi-flow. You are getting into something like you're feeling even more lighter. There's a sense of time is gone away. There's a kind of a huge energy that's pushing you up. In this state, the body has released a lot of neurotransmitters, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and all these things. The body does not feel fatigue, does not feel pain. And there's a kind of a joy there. And as the absorption keeps on increasing, what happens is you get now into the flow. The body has changed because of those neurotransmitters flowing through you. The idea of time has also kind of stopped more or less for you. You are there, you are dead. You are in the present, you are in the moment, you are in the zone. You are striving without effort, and effortless striving. What athletes call the second wind or whatever. But this is action in inaction. And then as this state can deepen, many people cannot sustain themselves in that state for long. They come down. In case you do that, in case you can sustain that flow, then you get into that next higher stage of flow, which is the flow stops. You might see, how does the flow stop? The flow it's an oxymoron, flow stopping. There's no such thing as flow stopping, but flow appears to as if stop. The whole mind is kind of held, and you feel there's no fatigue, there's no pain, there's nothing, there's just you absorbed in the moment with the object of meditation. It's a tremendous state. In this state, your body itself, as it were, becomes indestructible. You become immobile. It can only be broken by a very strong counter thought or somebody waking you up from this state, or someone playing a music or something like that, or whispering something in your ear to bring you down. Is this called samadhi? No. This is not samadhi and samadhi. Samadhi is much higher, don't worry. We'll take this up in our later classes. This is just a flow. And in this state, in a state of flow and the higher flow, you can sit down for hours and hours and hours, and your legs won't ache, your body won't ache. Nothing. You will be kind of feeling uplifted. And you're doing things naturally. What happens is, in the state where you're talking about meditation or flow, the conditioned consciousness, pre-conscious, consciousness, the meditative awareness, as is here, then the semi-flow, the flow and all, the whole mind is unified. Please remember this. The entire subconscious, the pre-conscious, the conscious and the higher conscious are all unified. It is only then when you can get into the flow. If your subconscious mind is going out there and your conscious mind is going out there, your senses are thinking of something out there, it's not going to happen. There has to be a kind of an integration. And once you can integrate it for that time, you will be, as it were, pushed up towards it. Now, once we have this clear, we will practice this. But we'll take the two preceding classes. One is, we have talked about awareness, and the other focus, and now the flow. So to come into the flow, we'll have to go back a little. In the next class, we'll do the whole sequence from prayers, etc. But for this practice session, let us go back to this awareness, practice of focus, and practice of flow. Okay. Before we can go into it, remember there's one thing. There's a aphorism in the Yoga Sutras. It says, like a crystal in front of an object, the crystal takes on the reflection of the object perfectly. The more clear the crystal is, a mirror, Swami Vivekananda says, you bring a red flower, the crystal will reflect the redness. It will get identified. Take a blue flower, it will appear as blue. The crystal will appear as blue. It's a perfect reflection. The object is perfectly reflected in the meditator. This is the one thing that we need to remember. Absorption is this: become one with the object of meditation. This is not the higher state of the mind and you can say the object of meditation and the meditator becoming one. This is just reflection. And that's why he's saying Manir Grahitri Grahana Graheshu Tasta Tadanjanata Samapatti. It's called Samapatti in the yoga. It is absorption. So remember, you are like a crystal and an object is placed there in front of you, and that object of meditation is perfectly reflected within you. This is absorption. Okay. Let's sit down comfortably, please. We'll take those 3 steps up of awareness, focus, and flow. We'll practice this. Sit down comfortably. Keep your body still. Straighten your spinal cord, your head and your neck. Close your eyes, please. Now feel your right palm throbbing with your pulse. You can visualize your palm. Keep your eyes closed, visualize your palm, and feel just your left or right palm throbbing. Now feel your whole body is throbbing. The whole body is pulsating with that lub-tub of the heart. Don't visualize the heart. Feel the contours of your body and feel your whole body pulsating. Become aware of the outlines of your body, please. All the contours of your body. And feel it all pulsating. Now become aware of your breath in your nostrils, please. Feel the air entering your nostrils and being exhaled through the nostrils. Now gaze at the space outside your chin. No visualizations, just gaze at that space out there outside your chin. This makes the eyeballs still. The optic nerves become still. Your visual cortex is less active. When your eyes are still, this is a perfect indicator of your mind being concentrated or not concentrated. If your eyes are moving under the closed eyelids, refocus your eyes on that space outside your chin. Now in that space, visualize a flame of a candle. Just a flame, please. Now within that flame, visualize another flame. And within the second flame, visualize a third flame. Now become absorbed in the third flame within. Just let go. Keep the flame still. Now please return to the first flame. Just watch one flame. Now go inside and watch the second flame within it. Now watch the third flame within it. Get absorbed. Now let go of the visualization, please. Become aware of your breath. Your chest is rising and falling. Take long, deep breaths and open your eyes. What we had practiced was one methodology to get into this flow. As you shifted your awareness from this to this, you can see it is like a kind of a flashlight. You can flash it wherever you want to. You can focus it wherever you want. And focus it in one place and keep it steady there. And then go deeper and deeper and deeper. I used one flame within the other and the third within the second. You can generally we go it the fourth flame, the third, and the fifth flame in the fourth, and the sixth flame in the fifth. It goes on deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, where you come to one point where the mind, as it were, just flows. And then the mind doesn't be there asking, should I visualize another flame within this? No. The mind will take over. It will, and you will be, as it were, just focused and going with the flow. There will be one flame within the other, within the other, within the other. You take a flame, you take the symbol Om, you take the symbol of Ramakrishna or Shiva or Goddess or Vishnu or anything. It has to be one image within the other, the similar image within it. And as you keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, this is one method of getting into the flow. The other method is I want you to, before we can practice it, try to visualize a point right up here above your head. Not behind here, but right up here. This. So like just above your forehead, about 6 or 7 inches or 8 inches above your forehead. Okay. Just keep in mind that this is a kind of a point here in space, an abstract point. Now close your eyes, please. Calm your mind. Find out where exactly you are located. Where exactly is your consciousness located now? Most of you have your consciousness now, of course, behind your forehead or eyes. Now, with a jerk, as it were, pull your consciousness up 7 or 8 inches above on the forehead, in that space above. Let go, please. Open your eyes. This comes with a little practice. You, as it were, like you're on the bank of a river and you're pulling something out of the river. You pull it. There's a time when you'll be able to switch your consciousness from within you outside you. You get into the flow. The third method is people use music or dance or all to get into that kind of flow. Breathing also is one. So the third method is to get into the flow is close your eyes, please. Sit down straight. Become aware of your stomach rising and falling. Become aware now of your chest rising and falling. Now take a long, deep breath and hold it here in the center of your chest. Hold your breath at the center of your chest. Let go. Become aware of your chest again rising and falling. Now once again, take a long, slow, deep breath and hold it at the base of your throat. Start now. At the base of your throat. Hold it there. Let go, please. Become aware of your chest rising and falling. Now once again, take a long, slow, deep breath and hold it near the Adam's apple. Let go, please. Breathe deeply, normally, and open your eyes. This is another type of method. You first, as it were, pull all your breath, all your prana, actually starts from your navel. Then you raise it up here, and when you raise it up, kumbhaka, that is, hold your breath. And then you fix your prana here, and then here, and then we have here, and then we have here. You get into that flow. This is doing it forcibly. I would not recommend it. That's the reason why I this is a kind of a technique, but the best technique is absorption. To get absorbed, get deeper and deeper, and you get into the flow. And while at it, remember, that you are like an mirror, perfectly reflecting the object of meditation. And when they are perfectly reflected, perfectly aligned, you get into this flow. Okay. We stop here for today. We take any questions if there are. And the next week, Wednesday, we'll do the whole sequence from prayers to resolve to posture, etc. Plus, we'll give an aspect of meditation.
Question. How can one sustain the flow?
You will not be able to do it in the beginning. You can sustain the flow only if the impressions in your subconscious mind or the conditioned consciousness, as we have said, are, you can say, teeming. They are in abundance. And as that illustration I give, you throw fish food in the lake and all the fish converge towards that food. So similarly, when you're sitting to meditate, all that fish, as it were, all that gravitates, converges there, and that is what pushes you up. If you have enough impressions below, if you have enough of practice, then it becomes easy to get into the flow. There is the other way also. There are some people who are naturals who get into that flow. They do it forcibly. They use the prana and they pull that prana up to higher and higher and higher centers. But that also is actually, it's a violent method. I would not also recommend. I would want you to get into it slowly and slowly. That's why as you get into meditation, you get into the focus state, and as you get into the focus state, your body is feeling lighter. There is no fatigue. The sense of time and the sense of I is disappearing. It is then you get into the flow. And even if you can get it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes, there is a quality of timelessness. The idea of time, which is here in this normal waking, is absent there. So you get into it, and then through practice you will be able to be kind of a natural into that. Okay.
How can one build up impressions in the subconscious?
Oh, that's easy. Whatever you do on the conscious mind, it goes in the subconscious mind. Swami Vivekananda gives the example of a child playing a piano, and she is playing the piano, and slowly she has to watch each and every key, and she depresses which key is. After a while, she can play without looking at the key. She can look and talk and laugh and sing also while playing. What has happened? Conscious actions have gone down and become subconscious actions. And these actions are not stationary and still and quiet and doing nothing. No, they are always active underneath. So the moment the child again comes and sits in front of the piano, those impressions will come up again. So meditation and flow also is like that. The more impressions you have below you, the more they push you up.
I have been concentrating in the third eye for many years. Is this harmful?
Yes. In fact, in some of our future, you can say, classes, we are going to do something about this, concentrating on the third eye. That is not recommended for beginners, not recommended for intermediate practitioners. What happens is there is always a chance of things going wrong. So we will lead you up till there. People have been talking about concentrating on the third eye, this Shambhavi mudra and this and that and all. It's not meant for the beginners at all. The safest place Sri Ramakrishna and everybody recommends is in the heart. This is the center of consciousness. Once this is opened, your consciousness will flow up here automatically. You don't have to do anything here. Okay? So this is the place. Open this, and the channel is open, and everything flows up here.
In the case of the flame within the flame, is it appropriate to use your spiritual ideal?
Oh, yes.
Or is the flame the best?
No, your spiritual ideal is the best. I have given a flame because it's neutral in the sense of, like, people might not, if I give Shiva, then people who want Vishnu, they will, oh my God, what's this? I don't want to meditate on Shiva. I want to meditate on. So I've given, you take any symbol or any image of the God you like, which you have the Ishta, the chosen ideal. So that's it. But it's like this, it's like that, what do you call it, that magic box or Russian box, There's a box within a box within a box. You open one box and there's another box inside. You open another box and there's another box inside. You open the third, fourth box and there's a box inside. And so it's like that, something like that. You are actually pulling away the layers of your mind in the process. And at the same time, you are fixed on that visualization. Then you push a little and you get into the flow.
Actually, a devotee said, it's like those dolls from Russia.
Russian dolls, yeah.
From the bigger one to the smaller
Yeah,
one.
something like that. I use the Russian doll, the Russian box. It's a Russian, yeah. It's something like that. Get into deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay? Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.
Any announcements?
Next Wednesday, we will do the whole sequence of what we have done up till now, from class 1 to class 8. And as we will give it another higher dimension. We have today evening, 7:30, the Gospel reading by Swami Sarvadevananda. Tomorrow we have the Bhagavad Gita, 7:30 evening, Pacific time, of course, by Swami Satyamayananda.
Should they practice during the week?
Oh yes, we like you to practice a little what you have been learning all these days. So it becomes much easier. You will get into it, don't worry. You'll get into the practice, get into the flow. Okay? Om Tat Sat.